I feel like every day he wakes up and probably like falls on the floor out of the bed.
Well, how did you guys end? Like, how did you guys break up?
Oh, he was crazy. He had a hand problem.
A hand problem?
Girl, he was beat my ass. Like a hand problem.
You were in a domestic violence
Yes,
situation?
for like 10 years. And I was young. I was like 16, 17. I didn't know what to do, didn't know how to handle it. I thought that's how I was supposed to be treated. So finally, one day it just ended with like me having to run out of the house, the ambulance being called, and then I just never looked back. Took my kids, moved, started a new life.
Wow.
It was bad, yeah.
I mean, just to see where you're at today, how you've overcome that, you should be very proud of yourself.
I am. And I tell people, like, a lot of people don't know, like, my story. So, like, I feel like sometimes when you see somebody successful and doing well, you just think that they are already, like, got their shit together. That is not the case. Like, I've lived paycheck to paycheck. I've been on, assisted housing. I've had food stamps. I've literally experienced almost everything that could be probably bad in life.
I love that you're telling the viewers this, because I know that there are women in this position right now. So like being from that place and then getting to this level of success in your life, what are some things that you would say to the girl or the woman that's in that place right now?
I would just say, you really just have to look at the bigger picture. And I feel like you are always the bigger picture. Like, you always just have to take accountability of you and what you have to offer. It is, I'm not going to lie, it is hard to get away. I stayed for a long time. But back then it was really hard, but I feel like now it's hard, but there's so many resources. And just because you have kids and you think it's the right thing to do to stay together for your family, the kids are going to have trauma from it. My kids still have trauma from it now, and they're in their 20s. So it's like you have to look at the bigger picture of everything. My mom was the person that I was able to go to, for like help, or like stay there for a little bit until I was able to get myself together. But there are a lot of organizations, and I don't know them off the top, but I know there's a lot of like Black-owned organizations to help women and children. They even have like family, like housing and stuff now to like actually help you go somewhere to get out of that situation. So I just don't want women, men, because men are being abused too, to just feel like they're just stuck, because that's not the case. There's just so much more to live for other than being, verbally, mentally abused. It just does a lot to you. There's want more for them.
Like, did you have to co-parent with him?
I did have to co-parent with him for a little bit. They were a little bit older, I guess, when everything had finally just ended. So it was kind of a little bit easier, but it was still hard, because he's a very, a narcissist. So it's very hard to just go back and forth. Like, we need to focus on the kids. We're not going to keep talking about what happened to us 7 years ago.
So
like, he's that person.
Pull you back.
Yeah, or this is your fault. Like, the kids, like, my son is like in college now, thriving, like, for a computer science engineer, and he still has something to say about just anything, girl, just anything. Like you said, I think it comes back to jealousy. Like, you can stay in the basement all day, baby, but I'm catching flights. Okay.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
Because I've experienced that with men. I've literally experienced men that are just like, you will be nothing without me. You need me, a man, to make your life any better, because without me, a man, your life will be miserable, is what men sometimes would say. And it's like, no, women are thriving, and you should be honored to even be in our presence. You should be honored to even feel our space.
The breeze that walks by.
Literally. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I feel, again, this needs to be talked about. I feel like more people should express themselves this way, and like, even just to hear your story, it's so important, so that other women who are hearing that voice in their head, like, you ain't shit without your man, they can hear your story and be like, yes, I am.
You can be everything without a man. I'm all for women being independent and doing things on their own. At the end of the day, I'm a relationship girl. This is what I just like personally, but it's only damaging you more just staying in a relationship that is very unhealthy. And the things that women are dealing with now, I just hope that they're just able just to find some type of resource, or even in themselves or family. And then too, it's hard too, because some women don't want to let people in be in their business. So then they're really trapped.
Yeah.
And I've heard that too. They're just like, they don't have a way out.
Right. It's the isolation. I feel like, because like I've had a family member be in the situation with a man where he isolated her, and she like stopped talking to the family.
I was isolated. I wasn't able to go anywhere. I wasn't able to do anything. If I left the house, if I went to work and came back, I was cheating. Sir, I'm coming home in a Domino's outfit. Who am I messing with? The pepperoni?
Not the Domino's outfit.
Look, I worked at Domino's, CVS, Nicoletti's. St. Mary's County, they know. That's where I grew up.
Really?
Yes. Like I've done a little bit. I worked at Walmart. Don't think we're not watching your own self checkout.
So from Walmart to full-time content creator.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes, thank you.
You have a lot to celebrate. I hope you're popping champagnes and everything.
Yes, girl, I'll be doing it all.
Traveling. So where has like, what's like the coolest like travel story you have? Like, where have you been? What have you gotten to do?
So I haven't done a lot of like international things, but just one thing that was really like the highlight of my year last year is I walked in New York Fashion Week for for a company that celebrates like, plus size women. It was like a bathing suit, and they do like their wings, kind of like the Victoria's Secret angels. So like everybody was like, I came out and they were like clapping and screaming.
Where can we see it? What designer is this?
It's Chrissy. I think it's
Chrissy King.
Chrissy King.
I know a few people that was watching that show.
So it's on my Instagram, and I know they're doing like Miami Swim Week and all that stuff too. So I'm hoping to get into Miami Swim Week.
How did you get into like a more mainstream modeling where you're walking in New York Fashion Week? Like, how did you get those types of opportunities? Are you signed with an agency?
So I am signed with an agency, but also like I tell people too, like, shoot your shot. People also want to see that you're authentic and that you're also sliding in their DMs or in their emails, and you're like, hey, I really love your product. Or my main catch is always like, hi, my name is Fancy. I'm a social media influencer. I love your hat. Or are you open to any new influencers? Do you have a brand ambassador link that I could apply to? And 9 times out of 10, they're going to send you the link. If they want to work with you, they're going to work with you. And then you can either handle it or now like your management. But when I walked for New York, I submitted myself. I just emailed them. They said they were looking for a few more models. It was like 12 o'clock at night. They messaged me back. They were like, can you walk for us now? I'm in the bed, girl. I had a bonnet on and everything. I took my bonnet on, I had pajama pants, threw on some heels, and walked back and forth in my living room.
Love it.
And the next morning, they were like, can you be in New York at this time and this date? And that's what I did.
That's amazing.
And I was really nervous. I wanted to get in the runway, but I was so in my head. Because, most of the time, like, you're always, like, the big girl. And I didn't want to be like, I was like, got to get it out of my head. But, like, the love that I got when I actually did it, I was like, let's shut it down.
That is amazing. So what was the first time, like, this is your first walk, I assume?
Yeah.
First runway walk?
Yeah, that was my first runway walk.
What did it feel like being a first time, like, seeing all the eyes?
I know. It was, I made it a cautious effort not to look at people because they're like, just look straight, cameras. So it was like that rush of adrenaline. And then like as soon as like you walk behind the curtain and you see all the lights and the people, like I feel like I'm really big on like hyping people up. So when they were like cheering, clapping, like it went out the window. I was like, let me strut my stuff. Did a little yes, and it was amazing. Good. So like it was an experience that I'll always be grateful for sure.
That is great. I mean, I'd love to hear that. Besides runway, have you done any other like campaigns or other like magazines or anything like that?
So I've been on Queen Magazine, which is DC, a Bayou Magazine, which is Atlanta, and then I was on the Curve Plus Angel calendar in 2020. And I have a whole bunch of stuff coming up. It's like one of those things like I got to keep thinking.
That's amazing, girl. You're living it.
Yes, I'm very appreciative for all the love. And honestly, I wouldn't be able to do it without the fans, the people supporting. And then people will even tag me. My friends tag me for these companies. I've been, reached out with branched off with other companies because people tag me in posts and they see, my work. That's why it runs back to being consistent, posting good quality pictures. Be very careful what you say on the internet. You will get canceled, like unless that's the lane you want to be in. I prefer not to. I like to keep getting my money.
Oh my gosh, I feel you. I feel you. I think about that too, because like, like one time I was with my agent in New York and someone had, it was like a whole like Trumper thing. And then this one guy, like this one male model, he was like for Trump and he was going ballistic on the internet about it. He lost clients.
Yes.
There are several people that are just like, because like, you know, maybe some people are, you know, for Trump and some people are against Trump or whatever, but it's like, it doesn't matter. Do you want your paper? Because you know, like, you don't
politics
know.
alone is a touchy subject. Like, I feel like people have tried to like have conversations with me, and I would just would like respectfully, you know, I'd rather not talk about it.
You want to protect your paper. I get it.
Exactly.
Because like, well, my brother was having this conversation with me too. He's like, you do know like brands, they just care about the money. Like they care about the consumers. They don't care like who the consumer votes for. They just care about like that they'll keep shopping at their store.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like just keep doing being cute, turn around. No. They're like, you don't even have to talk. Put a song over it.
Literally.
Twirl around.
So Fancy, what are your future goals for maybe the rest of 2023 or, you know, the next couple of years? Where do you see your career going? Where do you see yourself going?
So my goal is that I definitely want to work with, Good American. I want to work with Calvin Klein and Nike.
Ooh.
That is my ultimate goal this year is to be on a billboard.
Yeah.
That is my ultimate goal. For myself personally, just like growing, you know, into just like the better version of myself, really just taking how I feel mentally, physically into consideration, not necessarily always having to be someone's shoulder to cry on. So I'm really just focusing on myself. Long term, I want to keep doing this because I feel like it's going to keep going well for me. Like you said, I don't look my age, so I'm trying to still stay in that like generation where I'm like, okay, like she's 30 something, you know? So, so that's the plan. I just want to really just keep doing what I'm doing on Instagram, TikTok, you know. I'm really not on Twitter. Facebook is actually really becoming a good content creator place too.
Really? Why is that?
I feel like, honestly, they pay better.